In the year 2257, Earth had become a bustling hub of interstellar commerce and diplomacy. Amidst this cosmic crossroads, a particular event stood out: the arrival of the Larians, a previously uncontacted alien species from the outer reaches of the Andromeda Galaxy. Among them was Elira, a young Larian with an insatiable curiosity about humans and their culture. Elira's physique was strikingly different from humans. Her skin shimmered with a luminescent quality, her eyes were larger and a vivid teal, and her limbs were slender, almost fragile-looking, but known for their surprising strength. The Larians communicated through a series of melodic tones, but for this mission, Elira had been equipped with a translation device that hung loosely around her neck. Upon her arrival, she was assigned to bond with Jake, a cultural ambassador for Earth, to facilitate her understanding of human society. Jake was an average man, not particularly tall, but with an easy smile and a reputation for patience and empathy, qualities deemed essential for this role. Their first meeting took place in the Harmony Chamber, a room designed for interspecies introductions, located within the United Nations Interstellar Relations Building. The room was circular, with walls that projected soothing, natural Earth scenes, flowing rivers, towering forests, and expansive deserts. "Welcome, Elira. I'm Jake," he said, extending his hand, a common human greeting. Elira stared at his hand, tilting her head slightly. After a moment's hesitation, guided by her briefing on human customs, she extended her own hand. Her touch was cool, her grip tentative. "Jake," she repeated, her voice melodic and slightly echoing, the translator distorting the musicality of her natural tone. "I am pleased to learn." Jake smiled, encouraged by her effort. "I'm here to help you understand our world. Is there anything specific you'd like to know or see first?" Elira's eyes scanned the room before returning to Jake. "I wish to understand human connection. I am told it is complex." "Complex and diverse," Jake agreed. "There are many ways humans connect, through words, emotions, activities, even silence. Maybe we should start with something simple. Have you ever had coffee?" "Coffee?" Elira echoed, her tone curious. "It's a popular drink here. People often share it while talking or working together. It's a small but meaningful part of human bonding." Elira nodded. "I would like to experience this coffee." Jake led her to a small cafeteria within the building. As they walked, Elira observed the humans around her. She noted their varied appearances, their expressions, and the subtle nuances of their interactions. At the cafeteria, Jake ordered 2 coffees. "We usually drink it hot, but there are cold versions too," he explained. Elira watched as the steam rose from the hot beverage. She mimicked Jake, wrapping her slender fingers around the cup, feeling the warmth seep into her palms. "Careful, it's quite hot," Jake warned, just as she brought the cup to her lips. Elira sipped cautiously, her face an unreadable mask as she processed the new sensation and taste. "It is stimulating," she finally said. Jake chuckled. "That's one way to put it. People like it for the taste and the boost it gives them. For many, it's comforting." As they drank their coffee, Jake introduced basic human concepts: family, friendship, work, and leisure. Elira listened intently, asking questions that were perceptive and to the point. When their meeting concluded, Jake felt a sense of accomplishment. Elira, meanwhile, was left with a mixture of fascination and overwhelm. The simple act of drinking coffee had opened a small window into the complexity of human life, and she was eager to learn more. As Elira returned to her quarters, her thoughts were a whirlwind of earthly sights, sounds, and tastes. She knew this was just the beginning of her journey into understanding humanity, a journey that promised to be as challenging as it was thrilling. The next day, Elira met Jake at a local music conservatory, an environment chosen to introduce her to another fundamental aspect of human connection: music. The conservatory was a grand building with high ceilings and walls lined with instruments from around the world. "Music," Jake explained as they walked through the halls filled with the sounds of practicing musicians, "is a universal language, even among different human cultures. It evokes emotions and memories, connects people beyond words." Elira watched a young woman play the violin, the bow gliding smoothly over the strings, the notes clear and mournful. Does the emotion come from the instrument or the player? Elira asked, genuinely puzzled by the concept. Both, Jake replied. The instrument is just a tool. It's the human touch that infuses it with emotion. Here, let's try something. He led her to a secluded spot where a grand piano waited. Sitting down, he gestured for her to join him on the bench. Music is also about sharing. Let's create something together. Jake started to play a simple melody. After listening for a moment, Elira placed her fingers on the keys, mimicking his movements, her touch hesitant at first. Slowly, her confidence grew, and her additions became more fluid, blending with Jake's tune. As they played, Jake noticed the subtle changes in Elira's expression, the initial concentration giving way to what seemed like a sense of wonder. "You're doing great," he encouraged. "How do you feel?" "It's like weaving a tapestry," she replied, her voice a mix of awe and excitement. "The sounds interlock, creating something new." "Exactly," Jake said, smiling. "Music connects us by creating shared experiences. It's a powerful part of what makes us human." After the piano lesson, they attended a jazz ensemble performance. The lively beats, the unpredictable rhythms, and the skilled improvisation captivated Elira. She observed everything from the musicians' interactions to the audience's reactions, clapping, nodding, even closing their eyes to savor the music more deeply. "This spontaneity," Elira remarked afterward, "it's unexpected yet harmonious. Is this also a form of connection?" "Yes," Jake explained as they left the conservatory. "Jazz is about individual expression and collaboration. Each musician has a role, but they also listen and respond to each other. It's a lot like any human relationship, give and take." Their day at the conservatory revealed to Elira the emotional depths of human culture, something no data could convey. Music, she realized, was not just sound but an echo of the human spirit, a new layer of understanding in her exploration of Earth. That evening, Jake took Elira to an outdoor storytelling festival, a tradition that celebrated human myths, legends, and personal tales under the starlit sky. The festival was held in a park adorned with glowing lights and holograms that illustrated the stories as they were told. As they found seats on the grass, Elira observed families, friends, and strangers coming together, their faces illuminated by both the holographic displays and the soft lights strung above. The atmosphere was communal and vibrant, filled with anticipation. The first storyteller, an elderly man with a voice both deep and soothing, began a tale about the moon goddess and her lover, a mortal warrior. As the story unfolded, holographic images of the characters danced across the sky, captivating the audience. Elira leaned toward Jake, whispering, "Is this story true?" "It's a myth," Jake whispered back. "Many human cultures use myths to explain the unknown and to convey important truths or morals through metaphor." Fascinated, Elira absorbed every word, watching as the crowd reacted with laughter, sighs, and applause. She was intrigued by the emotional investment the humans showed in the stories, their expressions shifting with the narrative's flow. Next, a young woman took the stage, her story personal and poignant. She spoke of her journey from a war-torn country to safety, of loss and hope. Unlike the myth, this story was starkly real, and its impact was profound. The audience was visibly moved, some wiping away tears. This sharing of personal stories, Elira mused aloud after the applause had faded, "It's very powerful. Does it serve a purpose beyond entertainment?" "It does," Jake nodded. "It builds empathy, strengthens community bonds, and often, it's cathartic for the storyteller. Sharing one's experiences can help heal." As the night progressed, Elira experienced a myriad of human emotions through the stories: joy, sorrow, fear, and love. Each story added layers to her understanding of human nature, revealing the complexity of their experiences and emotions. After the festival, as they walked back through the now quiet park, Elira was contemplative. "Your stories," she started, then paused, searching for the right words. "They're like stars themselves. Numerous, illuminating, sometimes distant yet always part of a greater whole." Jake looked at her, impressed by her insight. "Exactly. Stories help us navigate our lives, understand each other, and remember that we're all part of something larger. The storytelling festival had not only expanded Elira's understanding of human culture but also deepened her appreciation for the nuances of human emotion and the power of narrative. In the stories, she found a reflection of the collective human spirit, complex and beautiful, and she felt a growing connection to this alien species called humans. The following morning, Jake decided to show Elira another dimension of human culture by visiting one of Earth's most renowned art museums. The museum was a testament to human history and creativity, housing thousands of artworks from ancient sculptures to contemporary digital installations. As they walked through the grand halls, Elira was immediately drawn to the diversity of expressions captured in the artworks. Each piece told its own story, reflecting the era and emotions of its creator. She was particularly fascinated by an exhibit featuring Renaissance paintings, their detailed brushwork and vibrant colors telling tales of devotion, struggle, and celebration. These paintings, Elira pointed out, they seem to hold much significance. The characters are often looking upward, as if searching for something beyond. Jake nodded. Many of these works are religious, representing a search for meaning and connection with the divine. Art is not only a reflection of personal feelings but also of societal beliefs and aspirations. They continued to a section dedicated to modern art, where abstract forms and unconventional materials dominated. Elira was intrigued but visibly puzzled by the stark contrast with the earlier works. This art is less clear in its storytelling, she remarked, examining a sculpture made from recycled electronic parts. It's a different kind of expression, Jake explained. Modern art often challenges viewers to find their own interpretations. It reflects the complexity of the current human condition, the doubts, the challenges, the innovation. As they ventured further, they encountered a digital art piece, an interactive hologram that changed as viewers moved around it, creating a dynamic interplay of light, sound, and shadow. Elira stepped closer, her movements causing the colors to shift, her silhouette blending with the art. "It's responsive," she said, delighted by the interaction. "It's like it's alive." Yes, interactive art involves the viewer, making them a part of the creation process. It's another way humans connect, through shared creation and experience. Their next stop was an exhibit on the history of human space exploration. Models of early spacecraft, suits worn by astronauts, and fragments of asteroids were displayed. This was closer to Elira's understanding, yet still imbued with a distinctly human touch. This section, Jake gestured broadly, shows our quest to reach beyond our world. Just as the Larians have explored the cosmos, so have we. Elira absorbed everything with keen interest. Our species share this curiosity then, a trait that drives us to explore and understand. They ended their museum visit with a special exhibition on cultural fusion, showcasing artworks that blended elements from different Earth cultures. This resonated deeply with Elira, as it mirrored her own experiences of discovering human culture. As they exited the museum, Elira reflected on the profound impact of art in human culture. It was not merely decorative but a profound communicator of the human psyche across ages. Art, she realized, was another form of exploration not into space, but into the depths of emotion and intellect, revealing the universal quest for expression and connection among all sentient beings. For their final outing, Jake took Elira to the heart of the bustling city, a place pulsating with life and the everyday interactions of its inhabitants. This would be a test of all she had learned, an opportunity to see the everyday application of human culture in its rawest form. As they strolled through crowded streets lined with towering skyscrapers, Elira observed the swarm of diverse individuals. She saw street performers captivating crowds, cafes bustling with patrons engaged in animated conversations, and parks where children played freely. This city, Elira noted, is like a living organism, constantly moving, evolving. How do humans find peace in such chaos? Jake smiled, understanding her overwhelm. Cities are energetic, but each person finds their own quiet in the chaos. Some find it in music, others in art, some in the comfort of a good book or a quiet cafe corner. They paused at a small park tucked away between two high rises. Here, the noise of the city seemed to soften, and the air carried the scent of blooming flowers. A group of elderly people practiced Tai Chi, moving in graceful, fluid motions that contrasted sharply with the city's frenetic pace. Balance, Jake said, is key. The city teaches us that, how to be still in motion, peaceful amidst turmoil. Alira watched the group, noting the harmony in their movements, a physical metaphor for the balance Jake described. They continued their walk, eventually reaching a vibrant marketplace. Stalls brimmed with goods from around the world, spices that tickled the nose, colorful fabrics that caught the eye, and handcrafted instruments whose strummed notes lingered in the ear. Each of these stalls tells a story too, Jake pointed out. They're a testament to the planet's diverse cultures, each contributing to the fabric of this city. Alira interacted with the vendors, her curiosity piqued by the array of items. Each vendor had a story, from the old woman weaving baskets to the young man selling homemade jams. Through their stories, she saw the threads of connection that Jake spoke of, woven into the tapestry of daily human life. As dusk fell, they found themselves at a rooftop garden overlooking the city. Lights twinkled on, mimicking the starry sky above. Here, they reflected on the week's experiences. Alira turned to Jake, her expression thoughtful. I came here seeking knowledge about humans, expecting to find data, facts. Instead, I found stories, art, music, emotions, and connections that data could never fully capture. Jake nodded, and in each of those connections lies the essence of humanity. It's not just in the grand gestures or historical achievements, but in these everyday moments. Indeed, Alira agreed. In learning about humans, I've learned about my own species too. We are not so different in our needs for connection, for expression. As the city buzzed below them, Alira felt a profound sense of connection, not just to the people she had met or the stories she had heard, but to the entire complex, beautiful tapestry of life on Earth. She realized that understanding another isn't achieved through observation alone, but through participation in their world, by walking in their streets, listening to their music, and sharing their spaces. As they descended back into the rhythm of the city, Alira felt ready to bring these stories back to her people, hopeful for the bridges of understanding that could be built.